Welcome to the Book Fair, Children's Literature for Grown-Ups. I'm your host, Anthony, and coming up this week on May 6th is Children's Book Week. This is coming from Publishers Weekly. I'll link the article down below in the podcast description. Children's Book Week may be turning 105 years old, but the annual literacy event is not showing any signs of slowing down. The nationwide initiative, orchestrated by the Children's Book Council and Every Child a Reader, which will be held May 6th through May 12th, is marking the occasion with a first-ever reading club, an official jingle, and multilingual drawing pages. One highlighted excerpt here is the No Rules Reading Club, and this is the part that particularly excites me. Replacing the Book Week challenges of past years is a reading club that correlates with the No Rules slogan. The Children's Book Council has a video promoting No Rules, Just Read, which I will include the audio of as well as a link to below right now.
Do you like reading but don't like being told what you should read, or how, or when, or where you should read? Join the club. No rules, just read. How do you join this club? Just by reading. That's it. All you need to do is read something during Children's Book Week, May 6 to 12. Try a chapter book or a graphic novel. Try a picture book or the dictionary, or a tiny book or a map or a long, long list. Whatever you read is up to you. And you know what? If you don't know what to read, a great place to get ideas is a library. Now, there are some rules. The no rules rules, which means you can read wherever, whenever, however you want. The only rule we must abide by is to have fun.
This is something that I am particularly passionate about. Even though I like to focus on middle grade books here on the book fair, I am a big proponent for reading in all forms. I personally don't like graphic novels or nonfiction books. However, if a young person, or even another person who is not a young person, wants to read something, they should be empowered to do so. Captain Underpants, poems, chick tracts, Stephen King, even Harry Potter that I have issues with the author with. As long as you're reading something, I encourage it. I encourage people to expand their horizons. However, with low literacy rates across the United States, any form of reading, as long as it sparks interest and passion in the reader, is a great thing. So please join in with No Rules, Just Read for the Children's Book Week and read anything you want during Children's Book Week for May 6th through the 12th. Educators, librarians, and booksellers in search of further Book Week resources can access online promotional materials and participation ideas to enhance their own celebration. For more information, visit the Children's Book Week website, which of course will be in the podcast description. Continuing the theme of reading. Continuing with headlines, here from Publishers Weekly. A middle school book club makes good trouble on a national scale. Good Books, Young Troublemakers, a book club for middle graders that highlights potentially controversial content, began as a local venture at Dog-Eared Books in Ames, Iowa. Now that the organization has been granted 501c3 status, founder Tanvi Rastogi plans to establish chapters across the U.S., directing kids and caregivers to book selections that might be downplayed or even censored in their school libraries or communities. Dog-Eared Books opened in March 2021, and Rastogi, who works as the store's inventory manager and youth book club's manager, started Good Books Young Troublemakers that April. A former youth services librarian in New Jersey and the Ames Public Library, Rastogi already loved working with kids. Quote, "So I asked if I could do a social justice-themed middle school book club. Middle school is my favorite age to work with." End quote. The club's name is inspired by the late Georgia congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis, who urged activists to get into good trouble. Next, let's move into recent releases for this week. First one here is I'll Be Waiting for You by Mariko Turk. Turk explores grief, friendship, and spiritualism in this stunning summertime genre bender. Japanese-American Natalie Nakata and her best friend Imogene have a yearly tradition of hiking, sleeping in rented cabins, and skulking around the notoriously haunted Harlow Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. After Imogene dies in her sleep from an undiagnosed heart condition during one of their trips, Natalie works to process her grief. She finally feels ready to tackle her internship at the Harlow Hotel, where she'll complete her senior project filming an audition tape for her favorite ghost hunting TV series. But her plan goes awry when she encounters fellow intern Leander, the writer of her school's Truth Hurts newspaper column and known condescending buzzkill. Forced to collaborate on their prospective projects, Natalie begins seeing Leander in a new light, especially when she learns he's a fellow skeptic. As the two work to debunk the many mysteries of the Harlow Hotel, unexplained glimpses of Imogene haunt Natalie. Told via Natalie's witty and organic first-person voice, this exhilarating novel is many things: an homage to a lost friend, a spine-tingling ghost tale, and a sweet, budding love story. This book is recommended for ages 12 and up. The next new release that I have here is a graphic novel called Puggleton Park, the first of a series by Deanna Kizis, illustrated by Hannah Peck. Spoiled pug Penelope loves going to Puggleton Park. Oh boy, this is testing my pop filter. A bustling recreational area at the center of Regency-era London where she plays fetch, picks bluebells, and wades in the brook before enjoying quiet time eating her special biscuit treats, while her lady indulges in her own favorite raspberry tarts. One day, when a particularly dreadful squirrel steals a tart, Penelope, whose manner was gentle although she was rather untrained, tears after it and gets lost in the vast park. For weeks, she lives as a stray, admiring lavish balls from outside their doors and sleeping on a green peacoat until she meets the coat's proprietor, widow Lady Diggleton, who takes Penelope home, determined to find her owner despite the disgust of her friend Lady Picklebottom, who believes animals belong on a farm. As Lady Diggleton searches for Penelope's home, Penelope struggles to remember what her life looked like before, trains for polite society, and grows closer with Lady Diggleton. Nymph-like illustrations by Peck breathe life into whimsical descriptions of animal adventures by Kizis, in this sweet story about friendship and finding one's forever home. This book is recommended for ages 7 to 10. And now let's finish new releases with a YA novel by a debut author. Not Like Other Girls by Meredith Adamo. Content warning for this synopsis, and by extension the book itself, if you do wish to read into this. Debut author Adamo unflinchingly reckons with rape culture in this twisty, gripping mystery. Jolynn Kirby used to reign supreme at her Rochester, New York magnet high school. But after stolen private photos of her are leaked to her classmates, she's ostracized and branded as the senior slut. Events that derail her ability to focus on schoolwork and land her on academic probation. When former best friend Maddie Price turns to Joe with an enigmatic plea for help, Joe is suspicious. But after Maddie misses their meetup and mysteriously vanish, Joe is unnerved. As Joe's investigation into Maddie's disappearance homes in on a dangerous truth, she confronts a revelation of her own about a night she doesn't want to remember. Edgy and authentic, this stunning gut punch of a novel unravels the complexity of teen girlhood, toxic friendships, and trauma, while a romantic subplot sensitively explores the challenges of reclaiming one's sexuality after surviving sexual assault. Vividly voiced in Joe's blunt, biting first-person narration, this is both a timely suspense-building thriller and a powerful story of healing. This novel is recommended for ages 14 and up. And this concludes another episode of The Book Report. Thank you so much for listening to The Book Fair, Children's Literature for Grown-Ups. The synopsis of these books does really show that YA and middle grade books really do expand the range of what is considered children's literature, and I really do appreciate something like Not Like Other Girls tackling things that are serious and real for some people. If you do wish to help out this podcast, the best way to do so is simply follow the podcast on whatever platform you're on. So Spotify, you can click on follow, iTunes, etc. Google Play Podcasts, unfortunately, no longer a thing. However, you can also leave ratings, reviews, wherever applicable, or wherever you cast your pods. And you can go to patreon.com/thebookfair. That is spelled Faire. The Book Fair also has a social media platform exclusively on Threads for no other reason than I don't like engaging in social media. You can follow at BookFairPod on Threads. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, I'll talk at you next time.